Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. It is your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today, we are discussing a model that launched as you see it here in 2020. Officially, this is the 5th generation of Omega's Constellation dress watch. The original launched in 1952, though to be perfectly honest, I see less of a lineage between that watch and this one than I do between the 1982 redesign and this one, as that 1982 redesign with the so-called Griffin claws is still very much with us in the current generation. In stainless steel, the watch is 39 millimeters in diameter, it's 12.7 millimeters thick, and then from end to end, the best distance I could measure across the wrist is 46 millimeters. This wears well on a medium-sized to small wrist. We'll throw it on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference, and you can see that this is both a dress watch and a viable full integrated bracelet steel sports style watch. On my 16 centimeter circumference wrist, it wears beautifully. It is low enough and shaped properly to slide underneath the cuff. It's a hybrid sports dress bracelet that works well in both applications, and I could see this wearing well on a wrist as small as 14 centimeters circumference. Taking a quick look at the bracelet, this is one of the elements that's changed. Let's go over all those elements before we jump into the bracelet. So officially, this is the 5th generation Constellation, and they're counting generation 1 as 1952, generation 2 is 1982, 3 1995, 4 2009, and mixed in there in 2003 were the sporty double eagles. I still think that neglects quite a few Connie variations that came out between 1952 and 1982, but just press the I believe button for now. So for this current generation, the big changes include a new caliber 8800 movement inside. We get this embossed silk style dial that is also rhodium plated. We get a reprofiled combination of a beveled case. We have smaller claws. We have a bracelet that includes a new design, including these intermediate roller links. We get a conical crown as opposed to a cylindrical crown. The bezel is now slimmer with reprofiled Roman numerals. So all of that, plus redesigned hands and indices. And we'll talk about that when we get to the dial. But first, let's take a look at the integration of the tonneau-shaped case with the bracelet. As good as any Nautilus, handsome, surprisingly nuanced with the facets, the polishing, and the contrast between satin and polish. It's also seamless, as you can't see daylight between the links. It's beautifully integrated with almost no side-to-side play. It's impressively constructed. But because of the way it is constructed with these intermediate roller links, you do need a block and a punch if you want to size this at home, so just keep in mind you can't quite do this with a screwdriver. Internally, you can see the clasp is well made with ceramic spring-loaded pin snaps, so over time that ceramic will not wear down, so that snap tolerances will remain crisp over time. It's a double fold with a sequential close system. One side closes before the other. Twin trigger release. Quite secure when closed. You got to press both triggers to pop it back open. Taking a quick look at the case, you can see it really is more of a tonneau case than a round case, and that's often been how these so-called Griffin claw Connies have been constructed. There is quite a bit of contrast, and we are miles removed from the generic lyre-style lugs that we see on too many Speedies and Seamasters. The watch includes both exterior Roman numerals and interior indices. We have a crown that's both polished and media blasted. We have a crown that is also a push-down unit, meaning the watch is 50 meters water resistant. We have these polished Griffin claws, or griffes, that sort of act as pincers, visually holding the bezel to the case. The griffes are a long-running element, and let's talk about that for a moment, because the dial is rhodium coated to give it that silvery shine and various white to gray metallic gradients. But then Omega also describes this as a silk embossed cross-hatching pattern. The actual hour indices are faceted with satin on the top and polish on the sides, and you can see the satination thins out. Each one of these little indices is inspired by the shape of the Freedom Tower in Lower Manhattan. And if you're wondering what on earth could possibly be the connection between this and that, well, the connection is that the 1982 to present Griffin claw design is also known as the Manhattan, and Manhattan is where you will find the Freedom Tower. We have hands at center that have a similar reference, though they're not quite as detailed as the indices. The indices really do look like a Freedom Tower, whereas the hands, which have a combination of an alpha profile with satin and polish, they really do look more like modified alphas. We have an applique Omega logo and marquee in the early 1952 style Constellation text. We do have little star reminding you that the original Connies were observatory chronometers, officially certified. This is a coaxial master chronometer, and you can see on the reverse side that it has the same heart and soul as the current Omega Seamaster Diver 300 meter. It is a very sporty watch, all in steel with an integrated bracelet, automatic winding, and plenty of luminescence, though you're going to have to approximate because the indices themselves are not loomed. The watch does feature a stop seconds function. There's also a system that allows you to, well, I want to show you the hacking first. Stop seconds, set it to a reference time. And then there is a system for rapidly setting the date, a quick set mechanism. Back to the reverse. Okay, this is a single barrel bidirectional automatic winder with 55-hour power reserve. It pivots on 35 joules. It's got a full balance bridge and a free sprung balance for shock tolerance, and the combination of the balance, the staff, the escapement, and the silicone hairspring make this watch effectively impervious to any level of magnetism. It is a master chronometer. Master chronometer is everything the COSC test is, but it's a test of the fully assembled watch in 6 positions, not 5, and it tests for chronometry, yes, but also for winding efficiency, also for power reserve, also for water resistance, shock resistance, and anti-magnetism. Unless you think this is the fox guarding the henhouse, anyone can certify a master chronometer, not just Omega, and in conjunction with the Swiss Federal Institute of Metrology, Tudor has recently begun doing exactly that. The movement has a beat rate of 25,200 vibrations per hour, which is the standard rate for Swatch Group watches that include silicone hairsprings. And then it has a coaxial escapement, which is a cool high-tech tangential contact direct and indirect impulse escapement, first envisioned by British watchmaker George Daniels in 1974, industrialized by Omega in 1999, and today it really delivers everything Daniels envisioned: more power reserve, reduced maintenance requirements, and improved chronometry. It's probably still the highest tech and most distinctive escapement system you can buy for under 50 grand. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.